Welcome, everybody. Yo, this is the Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm here with my brother, Jaquari Armstrong. Damon Armstrong's going to join us a little later. And we're out with our special guest, William Scarborough. When William figure out how to turn his camera back on, he's going to come on and join us.
I'm here. I'm in the house.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Very highly blessed.
Hey, Scarborough.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Scarborough. You know what the funny thing is? If Keith hadn't said nothing, that would look totally planned, bro. So you doing good, man.
I appreciate it.
How you been, brother? You good? Long time, man. Long time. I seen you yesterday, man, but it's been some years since the last time I seen you, brother. How you been keeping up?
I ain't got no complaints, man. Just put one foot ahead of the other.
Oh yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, listen. Before we go further, let me do some advertising, house cleaning type of deal. You know, and really and truly, you see the streamer on the bottom, Strong Perspective Podcast on YouTube. Yeah, look, we appreciate it if you guys go ahead and go to the channel, like, share, subscribe, especially like and subscribe. You know what I mean? Because what we want to do, the thing that we provide for people is we want them to be able to hear our conversation so we can plant the seeds of communication amongst everyone, especially our community. Because I was just saying earlier today that sometimes, you know, we don't know how to talk to each other and we don't know how to communicate with each other, right, as a group. Because we got a lot of alphas in our community, or people who think they're alphas. You know, you're either one or the other. But the thing about it is, when you're grown, you don't want to feel like somebody can talk to you any way they want to. So what we do, we try to provide our version of an example, how to talk amongst each other.
Yeah,
you know, if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But listen, like, share, and subscribe is a great thing. You understand? Because we feel we're doing something good, because we feel good about it every time we have some of our great guests on. William is going to be another in a long line of great guests. And, you know, let's proceed. All right. Well, Jaquari, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. You know, shit, I'm looking good. I smell good. Y'all can't tell, but I smell good, the motherfucker. I put that damn sponge on my head, so I'm looking like a nasty dream out this motherfucker. Just, you know, just doing what I do.
No doubt. Hey, William, how you doing, brother?
Hey, man, everything is lovely, man.
Okay.
Everything is peaches.
Yeah, had a good day, bro?
Yeah, good day. Long day, but a good day.
Good. Well, why don't we do this? You know, for the folks, refresh the mind of the folks who know you, and give a little piece of your information about you to the people who want to get to know you. Tell us about yourself, family, where you're from, the whole nine.
Well, William Scarborough. Most folks call me Tyke. That's not T-I-G-H-T, but T-Y-K-E.
T-Y-K-E.
T-Y-K-E, baby. And that nickname was given to me from my aunt years ago. They say I was just stingy and tight with everything that I did. Born and raised in Currituck County in a little township called Poplar Branch. Raised by my grandparents and my mother. I have brothers and sisters. I think it's 7 total. I'm married. I have 4 adult children and 6. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss nothing. 6 grandkids. and I've been in left Currituck in 1982. I went to Shaw University.
The
I
big city of Raleigh.
Yeah, the country boy came up here. I came to Shaw 82, graduated in 86. Worked at the Department of Prisons. And then I got on with the Wake County Sheriff's Office until I walked out the door in 2015.
Okay. Well, that's a good start. So you're a Shaw U Bear. So tell me what that's like, man, because I didn't go to a HBCU. You and Jaquari did. You know what I mean? Tell us, a little bit about the tradition. I'm going off a little. I got the questions for you, Bill, but I want people to know about you.
Well, the thing about Shaw, when I got ready to go to school, I had to pick between Shaw and Johnson C. Smith. And unfortunately, Shaw wanted $50 for a deposit for a room to hold my room, and Johnson C. Smith wanted $75. So my mom, never really worked a day in her life, said, hey, I don't have 75, so I guess Shaw's it. So I came up there and stayed with my cousin first week. Then I went on campus. I think the thing that during that time, they talked about it, but Shaw was a true family. We didn't have a lot of rip roar. We didn't fight among ourselves. You had people from all parts of life, but it was truly a family. Everybody got along good. Myself, I come up in the big city of Raleigh, and, I'm trying to feel my way around. And I actually got my degree in criminal justice. So, but it was a good 4 years. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I still have friends that I graduated with that I stay in touch with. So it was just a good time in my life.
Okay. Well, let me do this then. Just to add a little quick thing. We still talking about Shaw now. Let me ask this first, so I'll know how to ask this question. Did you meet your wife at Shaw?
I met my wife. No, not at Shaw. I went home one weekend.
Okay.
A friend of mine that was from a place called Pantego, Belhaven, kind of where G. Holloway's from.
Okay.
And I saw her, and 2 months later, she moved from back home to Raleigh, and so we've been together 35, 36 years.
Okay.
So
she moved here for you?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, so that I see why they call you tight then. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah. I stepped my game up back then. So, the rest is history.
Okay. So let the people know what fraternity you pledge, man.
I'm a member of the Phi Beta Sigma Incorporated. Of course, that's the blue and white, one of the best fraternities in the whole world.
So. No doubt. Okay. We met each other. I tell people I've known you since 1997, 98, around then.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, when I gauge people by the energy that they give me, and I pay attention to them. You know what I mean? Because see, I believe in character, right? Now, that's one thing that always stuck out with you is, you always was a jokester, but you took care of your business. You know what I'm saying? And most people never really paid attention to that, but I always did. You know what I mean? Because It's what you're supposed to do when you meet when you're around people all the time. So let me ask you a question. Damon's getting ready to come in, guys. Let me ask you a question. Your years with the sheriff department, and let's get into it. Let's get it out the way so we can really get into a conversation, right? And we talked about this last night. What's going on, Damon? How you doing, brother?
What's up, fellas?
All right,
Hey
all
there,
right.
man.
Hey, apologize for being late, man.
You
Tech-
know, we always got you, bro.
All right, I'm with
Okay.
you.
So the years that you, oh well, let before I ask you the question, Bill, Damon, how was your day today?
Man, one of them days, man. Whew.
Okay.
Running around, man, trying to get things together and all that. And my cord, man, on my laptop, I need a new one. So I had to wait for it to charge a little bit.
Okay. Hey.
But other than that, man, you know, I'm above ground, so I'm good. You know,
Okay.
I'm blessed.
Okay. Good. You know, anybody who want to volunteer a chord for my brother Damon, please let me know. Look,
Hey,
Hey,
you
look, if
said
that
that,
happened,
you said that like somebody's gonna get it to you too.
no, I was gonna say preferably from Amazon.
yeah. And if that shit worked, then it's a whole bunch of shit around here I need.
Look, I got a list. I got a list, man. You know, all right, but getting back to the question, Phil, you retired at least 30 years from LEO, right? And at the time, what I know about you is you always worked with at-risk kids. So my question to you is, was it a conflict in interest, or would each job make it easier for you to do the other job? If I'm not being too confusing.
Now you said what? Now some feedback.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just some feedback from somebody.
Oh,
Um,
Damon, you must be in the hot box. You got your fan on.
Yeah, man, I was running around trying to get on.
okay.
How's that?
All
Is
right.
that
Good.
better?
Yeah. Say it again, strong.
All right, but look, and that thing about it, we can still hear, but you know, Bill is the oldest member of this panel today. You know how old folks are.
Mm.
No, he only about a year and some change older than me. But basically, what I'm asking you is this: you worked in LEO for about 3 years, right? I mean, 30 years, and during that time, I've known you to work with at-risk kids, right?
Right.
Can you tell me whether or not, and I think I know the answer, but can you tell me whether or not it was a hindrance or a blessing to do both at the same time as you did both jobs?
Well, it was a blessing to be able to take the tools that I had being a being in law enforcement and what I knew about working in the community for so long with kids from all backgrounds with all types of behavior. I was able to give them a structure and basically show them and tell them, hey, if if you don't if you take this set of direction, this is where this is ultimately going to lead to. But if you take this set of directions, such as you're working on your academics, working on you as a person, don't be a follower, be a leader. Um, if you do those certain things, then sky's the limit. I myself coming up as a young teenager, I was told I was a hard headed, mischievous young man. And actually was told by family and friends that I wouldn't amount to nothing. I would always be in trouble. coming up and I was disobedient. It was either my way or no way. So I look back when I was in my early teens up until the time that I left, and it was like a challenge. It was like a challenge that I had to show my family, my friends, that I wasn't going to be the person that they thought I was. And I've always strived for that. Even when I talk now to a lot of our young black males, you've got to do this and this because one thing you've already got a strike against you. So, the whole thing is you want to prove people wrong.
Okay.
And I did it with my kids. I did it with my kids. I told them, I'm only gonna raise you once. Barring sickness and of course death. You need to do what you're supposed to do in school. Take the right classes. And like I said, educate school is not for everybody, but you have to get out here in this world and you got to be able to take care of yourself. And I'm that way now. I try to be a mentor and give hope to our young black males in particular. Um, hey, you don't want to end up in jail or prison. Let's look at other alternatives. If you don't want to go to school, let's look at a trade. So that's kind of my mindset. I'm always, like I said, I had a target on my back. So y'all have to forgive me. So, because when I look back and I think about what was said then, and it helped me. And where I am now in my life, I think I've done pretty damn good, if I had to say so myself.
Okay. Okay. I know,
Can
Jaquari, Damon. I know you got something to respond to that.
Yeah, can I just get you just? I mean, I totally agree with you, Scarborough. I'm totally agree with you, man. But can I get you just a little bit of pushback? And this is from a personal point of view, entirely, man. But you know, we basically work in the same field, and after you retire from law enforcement, we both basically doing the same thing now, trying to uh, show young folks, some structure and a good path to take. My question to you is it still necessary for us to present let me see to present that path in an adversarial manner, because that's I mean that's something that I've noticed like over the years and working with young people, man. Rarely do you find a person who will sit down with a group of at risk youth and not speak from a point of deficit. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
I, I, I try, like in every opportunity, man. I try to take away from that narrative, man, and just try to get them to understand that, yeah, you do have certain factors working against you in the world,
yeah.
but in order for you to be successful, man, sometimes you gotta, you know, get past those factors mentally. You know they're there, but you can't let them be a roadblock to you. Especially if you plan to be free and somewhat successful, you can't really pay attention to anybody telling you how you ain't gonna what they say in the five heartbeats. You ain't shit because I wasn't shit and all that. And I get that, man. I've had those conversations with people, man, but I didn't let that deter me from what I wanted for myself. At any point in your career, in both of your careers, have you ever thought about that narrative about how we always like approach young folks' futures like from a deficit? You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
you got one stigma going against you, and that's I don't like to want to say I played the race card, but I'll say that being black male in today's society, we're looked at, and we have a lot of very, very successful black men and women in this world, but we're looked at as the troublemaker, the one is always committing crime. Um, and like I said, I personally, when I think about it, you know, I was attacked, and it doesn't hurt me because when I look at now, today, I look at, I overcome, you know, I was raised by my grandparents. My mother was 45 years old when she died. I was a junior at Shaw. So my grandfather, and I had a father, but my grandfather was the one that basically told me about life and how you gonna have to go out here and work 10 times harder to be successful in life. And that's kind of the attitude that I've taken throughout my whole life. You know, some folks say that's all you do is you're always doing something. I'm built that way. I don't know how it is to sit down and don't do nothing. Like I said, now working with special need kids. You have some that have low self-esteem, and you have some that high function. So you don't know what you're going to get from one day to the next. But it's all about that reward at the end. It's all about when you can look back and you can see that young lady or that young boy that you played a part in their life and now they're successful. You can see that. I look at my own children. You know, I I'll say this: I was the hell raiser when they were coming up. The mother was the prayer person, but they got it. They got it. You know, and that's how it is. I don't want them to have to scrap and crawl for everything. I want them to use their brains and their talent to go out here and be successful.
Okay, Damon, you seem that you seem like you want to say something.
No, I was just listening to what everybody was saying, man.
Okay.
I haven't worked in that field in a long time, man.
Well, yeah,
But
I think it's mostly just the interaction between the young folks. Period. You know what I mean? Because you do it inadvertently. So I definitely know you have things to say about it.
the one thing that I try to do, be it my kids or other people, one thing I try to do is when in conversation, dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
the actions, I see what I try to see is what stands out with them. Now don't get me wrong, I'm gonna call bullshit bullshit now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do it in a way like, come on, man, we ain't got to be like that. We just having a conversation. You ain't got to try to, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to come at that angle with me. But if I get enough time sitting down with a young person, man, I'm gonna speak on the things that I see that stands out. Those positive things that stand
Mm-hmm.
out. I'm gonna speak on it. Hey, man, hey, you pretty smart dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Or what are your interests? What do you like to do? Oh, you got some examples of that? And I really didn't, when I was working with youth, man, I really didn't get into the reasons why they were there, and you know what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to be preachy. I would say things as simple as, man, look, you did something to get into this program. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to figure out what to do in this program to get yourself free, so you can have a life. You know, you can bullshit your way through it and wind up back in the same place, or you can find out something about yourself that you can be proud of. You know what I'm saying? So, the choice is yours. Eventually, they're gonna come around. If a cat in there 2-3 years, they're gonna be like, man, Mr. Armstrong, show me how to get out of here, man. You already know, man. You just got to apply it.
Yeah.
You just got to apply it, and
And I
then and I just leave it up to them in their own way to figure that out.
Gotcha.
yeah,
I mean, it's
and
it's,
I don't want
it's
to make it seem like I don't, go ahead,
Go ahead,
Keith. I'm sorry.
Jaquan. Go ahead. No, you good. Go ahead.
I don't I don't want to make it seem like there's some kind of magic pill that we can give these young folks in order to help to get them to the next level or anything like that, because like I'm quite sure some of the same methods that Scarborough uses I use too. But my overall thing is, and I got this from Keith. I got this from Keith a long time ago, man. Uh, you have when you're good at something, when you're good at something, what's the reasons for being good at that? You know what I mean? And I find a lot of times in the black community, man, we'll set ourselves up to be in a position to where, well, they don't think I can do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove them wrong. And that works up to a certain extent. It works up to a certain extent, but once you
Yeah,
have
run out of
conquered
gas.
that
Yeah.
that yeah, once you have conquered that particular hurdle or whatever, what's your motivation to move on to the next level? We can't always have an enemy. We can't always work from the position that like we on the lowest rung, and we gonna show the world who we are as a people or whatever. Sometimes we I think we got to work. As well, sometimes as people who are trusted to influence these young people, man, we need to try to help them work from a place of total positivity. You know what I mean? Because we've all got something stacked against us,
Oh yeah.
but other communities do too.
But
Oh,
let
But
me
since I'm not a part of other communities, I don't know how much that necessarily influences it.
well,
yeah.
one thing that you've heard of the concept, when you got a bunch of crabs in the bucket and the
Yeah.
crab climbs to the top and doesn't pull anybody with him. That's one thing that concerns me particularly about us. You might have one of us to get to the top, but they don't bring nobody else with them. They get to the top. Oh hell, I made it. But when you look at other races, and again, I love all folks. But when you look at other races, look what they do. They they reach a certain level, and then they bring their family, their friends up with them. We don't do that. We get there and say, "The heck with y'all! I got mine now. I'm doing my thing. I'm taking care of me and my family, and forget about those that are still down in that bucket." That's something that we have to work on.
You know what?
And
I agree.
Scarborough is that the American dream?
But hold on now. Hold on. Let me just say this real quick, Corey. I'm gonna let you chime in. See, here's the thing, and this is from coming from my personal point of view. When it comes to when we talk about you talk about the crabs in the barrel, right? Crabs in the barrel came from one person's point of view, and because it was a slick thing to say, it caught fire. That's my personal opinion. It's true in a certain extent when you individualize it, where you got other people in competition for the same thing. This is what I believe, right? But I personally see also this. Yeah, there are crabs in the barrel mentality, but we only pay attention to that instead of there is a mutual cooperation mentality sitting around you where you got other people like, damn, he blowing up, man. Let's figure out how he's doing that. Let's work together. I bet you guys, out of the four of us, I bet you guys, I almost guarantee you've heard that more than somebody making it and leaving everybody else behind. Because you're gonna always try to find people. Our community is always always being promoted as the so many far-fetched stigmatizations and stereotypes, right? We've been brought over here as slaves, right? You know when that whole thing that black people are lazy, you know when that came? That's not modern. That's in slavery days when you make them work, you make your slaves work for 16 hours, but you want 18, but their bodies won't let it happen. You see what I'm saying? That's where that came from. It didn't come from, nowadays. Now, I have this question. How many times do you have to repeat something to somebody before they start to believe it? See, that's how I look at things. I look at my life with an optimistic view. Yes, I'm not stupid. I understand if somebody trying to game me. I understand all that. But I also understand that I might be at the turning point and plant a seed on somebody who's gonna do something positive for people down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's how I look at things. And I want people who gonna see this podcast and you guys there to know that's my mentality. Now, if you think it's naive, I respect that. You know what I mean? But that's how I see it more than anything. So let me ask y'all a question. And the reason why I ask this question is because sometimes it feels like this is the greatest roadblock. Do we see each other as enemy and competition when we're trying to live in this life? I'm talking about our community. Do we see each other as the competition and the enemy? And if we do, it's a two-part question. If we do, why don't we see other communities as our competition and our enemies? And I leave that second half open for
Well,
interpretation.
one thing is we don't trust each other, and I don't know if that has to do with being the way you were raised or being brainwashed. Um, but we as people, we don't trust each other, and so when you don't trust each other, it makes it kind of stops that growth, if you will.
Okay.
You know, um,
Before you say anything else, I'm sorry to cut you off.
oh, you fine.
When you was growing up, William, in your community, did you distrust your neighbors that you grew up with?
No, no.
Then where'd you get that from then? Other than no, hold on. Not you in particular. Because I agree that for the most part we don't, right? But is it if we don't trust each other, is it because somebody put in our heads not to trust each other? We're untrustworthy.
I'll say this, and I've said this many times. I know for a fact that I was taught right from wrong. I know for a fact that the members in my community coming up guided me, but it was all incumbent upon me if I want to go out and be mischievous. I don't. I've told folks for many years, whatever decisions that I've made, whatever choices that I made, I can't look back and say, well, it was because of my grandparents and my mom, because they taught me right from wrong. My family, the circle, taught me right from wrong.
Okay.
I was just at that particular time in my life, I was just one of those kids that was hard hit. And I think what happened was when I was finally able to get away, to get on my own, to start to figure out life, and even more when my mother died at such a young age, that hey, I got to get out here now. I got to make it happen.
Okay.
I couldn't stay at the bottom working for $9, $10 an hour. I had a family. I had to have a job with more income, more opportunity. And so, I know I'm a little long winded, but so
No, no, this is
uh,
you, man. Keep
I've
going.
never been the type of person to waddle in the mud. I never have. If I want something, I'm gonna work and I'm gonna get it.
Oh yeah.
I was taught that as a young boy,
Oh yeah.
and I have that same mentality today. Because the world we live in, it's there for the taking. If you want to go and take it, opportunities are there. If you want to go and take the opportunities, but you can't expect a free pass. That ain't how life is set up. And if you live that life and you apply that, then you always remain in that gutter. You got your hand out. And trust me, there are some folks that need help, but then there's some folks that get help that don't need help. But they rather depend on the government and things of that nature. And I could go on and on and on.
Now, Bill, Bill, you my man, and we've been around each other for a long time. But you just sounded like Hickory Bill just now. Like you look, you just turned first and foremost, bro. Honestly, I've never, and this is not disagreeing with you. Just seeing it from another angle. I don't look as people have their hands out. They don't have an opportunity. Now they can fuck up an opportunity, Bill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And put themselves and box themselves in the corner because they're trying to find the easy way because they're panicking, right? But that that right there, we have always, even man, even when we was youngins, Bill, they always said to us, they always used to say to us, most all black people in the 70s when it wasn't true. They said that it was nothing but single mothers, right? When it wasn't true. And as we got older and older, what I started doing was looking around me. Yes, there are people coming from single parent homes, right, who became great men. But guess what happened? The stigmatization of it was if you come from a single parent home, whether the father or mother, you're not going to make it as a black man. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And it's not true. I don't agree with that. Never have. Right? But
Here's the thing.
let me just say this real quick. Here's my thing. When it came to welfare, when we was in school, when it came to welfare, I took a class as a freshman. I understood it already going into college, right? I took a class as a freshman, Bill, when they gave me the real statistics on who was actually on welfare. The majority of the folks on welfare were Caucasian, right? But what did we see on TV? What did we see?
Us.
That's the mentality that's always been pushed on us. Even if it
Yeah.
wasn't, even if it wasn't true, it's always been pushed on us. Damon, go ahead, brother. Sorry to cut you off.
Well, you all right, man. Just what Scarborough said. You got cats that look for handouts. The one thing I appreciated about that statement that he made is that he didn't put a color to it. He said generally some people, not all people, but some people. He didn't say black. He didn't say, well, he didn't put a color to it.
Good
In
point.
his experience, he probably did run into some people that just looking for a handout. You know what I'm saying? It's all subjective, and in a way. You know what I'm saying? Based on your own personal experience.
Hey, Bill, was they dark skinned?
Here's the thing, man. In terms of our kids, man, and them finding their own pathway. It's like what Keith Barnes was saying. Peer pressure has a lot to do with it. We all fell prey to peer pressure, trying to fit in. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be a part of something. But when you get to the point where you start learning yourself, like they say, know thyself, then you understand. Then you start saying, okay, I can't listen to that cat because he looking for my downfall. I can't listen to this person over here because they don't know any damn better. You know what I'm saying? And then you start realizing who you are and what it is that you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. And what helps a person get on their pathway is for somebody to recognize that in them. Hey, you trying to be an individual. You trying to find your way. Let me tell you some of the things that I see in you that are great. Did you know that you could be a good orator? You could be a college professor. You could be all these different things. That's where we fall. That's where we fall short, man. When it comes to our kids, we only think of certain things for them to be successful. Playing sports, you know what I'm saying, hustling or whatever, But how many times y'all heard the story of this dude out there in the streets hustling or whatever, but he's a wordsmith. You know what I'm saying? He's a poet. He all these different things. Just because you a poet, man, don't mean that you have to become a rapper, man. You understand what I'm saying? There's spoken word. People made living off spoken word. It's okay. Even if your guidance counselor in high school said that you can't be a college professor, if that's your affinity, man, if that's what if you could speak on philosophy or whoever that you study chapters and verse, you damn right you can be a college professor. You damn right. But how many of us in our community tell our kids that they can be that? And that they can make a living at it? Because for a lot of people, man, being that college professor, having that much knowledge and all that is beyond people because they didn't take the time to study. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take the time to, really get into academics. So it's beyond them. So when you say, hey, Dad, I want to be a college professor, man, what the hell you know about that? I see the grades you bring in, man. I think you should look for something else. Mm-hmm. Right there, you just broke a kid's heart. Right there, you just broke a kid's heart with that statement right there. So I think it was you, Jacory, talking about positivity, speaking in positive terms. You got to find a way to do that with young people, even if you don't believe it your damn self. You might convince yourself. You know what I'm saying? You might convince yourself, but
I think.
Hold on for 1 second, Jacory. You know how we do. We hold on for 1 second, Jacory, because hold your point, because I know you got something to say. At this point, we always acknowledge who here, who really participating in our comments. Keith Barnes, what up, baby boy?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, Scarborough. Keith says, he said, what's up to you? He said, I'm 2-0 in case you forgot.
Hey, Keith, he called you Coach Scarborough, bro. So that's cutting deep. That's bone right there.
Look.
I'm gonna let him hold that one.
Look, Scarborough.
That's the own right there.
And no, and but he made a good point, right? Where, you know, he had a different experience than you, Scarborough. He said, I learned not to trust my neighbors. They were proven to be liars and manipulative, which caused me to have no use for people that are not genuine. You know what I mean? So he had a different point of view on how he did it and how he looked at life. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
me, I had with you, Bill, same experience you had. That's why I asked you the question. Because we learned to trust the people that we lived around because it was a community. You know what I mean? And and I'm not talking about down to the letter in trust, but just as a whole, where if my neighbor saw me down the street fucking up, I knew that they would go back and tell my parents. You know what I mean? If they didn't snatch me up. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's genuine. That's genuine love, man. But see, we've been taught, and then I'm gonna let you go, Jaquari. We've been taught that we don't love each other, but we actually do. We just blinded ourselves to it. That's Keith Armstrong's personal opinion. Go ahead, Jaquari. I'm sorry.
I just kind of wanted to piggyback off what Damon was saying, man. And I kind of alluded to it in yesterday's conversation, man. Like we don't spend a lot of time uh, letting our young people know that there is a difference between intelligence and academics, man. You know, academics and structure. You have to do specific things to be successful in the world of academics. You know, hustling is a form of academics. You know, being a big personality, you got to be smart to be a big personality. That's why a lot of kids in our community, man, you know, are comfortable with showing their personalities and the size of their personalities, and not giving a damn about the repercussions that come with it. Because at some point in their lives, you know, they found success, no matter how small, in being the loudest person in the room, being the most flashy person in the room. It takes a certain level of intelligence to do that. You know, to kind of like carve your own path. You know, my overall point is though, you know, it doesn't matter how much we try to encourage our young folks, man. But you know, if we don't if we don't if we don't put the options out there, that they don't all, you know, we always we have the cliches that they all want to be rappers, they all want to play sports and all this and all that. But other than that, you know, do we ever encourage our kids to, you know, want to be chefs? Do we ever encourage our kids to, you know, want to work with computers? Do we do that? You know, I think, especially the kids that I work with, the population that I work with, they're all trying to. Well, let me start that over again. The population that I work with, when they find success in the program, then they're all like funneled into like a couple of things, and their own personal aspirations aren't really acknowledged, man. You know, I went to school for theater. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a movie star. I tell everybody that I want to be a fucking movie star, and I don't think it's too late. But I haven't seen or spoken to a lot of other black men who would admit that. You know what I mean? Outside of the people who I was in school with. You know, I wanted to be an entertainer or whatever, and I didn't just, you know, go off of you know, my natural skills or whatever. I decided that, you know, if I wanted to do this, then I had to go to what I figured the core was and figure out how to do it correctly, and that's what I did. You know, people ask me, well, if you wanted to be an actor, why didn't you go to Hollywood? Okay, you don't, you just don't. I don't think that you know, you just start doing something like that. You know, there's techniques. There's several techniques that you have to be familiar with in order to be successful. And that's not only in acting, that's in anything that you do. You know, I mean, it wasn't a guarantee that that was the only thing that I was gonna be involved with, and while I was in college, and it wasn't the only thing that I was going to be involved with, but the confidence that I gained through being involved with something that I was good at, and it made me feel good, and it definitely bolstered me to push me on to other things.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where the spark comes from. It doesn't matter where the spark comes from. I mean, I don't know if y'all know how to build a fire, but once you get that spark going, you got to blow it. You
Yeah.
got to blow it. You don't necessarily dictate what catches fire, but when the fire catches, you got to hop on it and make sure that it comes to its entire fruition, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what I try to emphasize to young folks. Okay, yeah, you step out, yeah, you want to be a rapper or whatever, but as my brother David said, if you can't translate that success from rapping, from your pen to a microphone, you always have spoken word. You always have you have ghostwriting. We could probably go we could probably Google ghostwriters, man. For very successful people in the music business, I think it's be pretty safe to say that they've had some lucrative careers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the spark. Like I said, once you see that spark, you have to nurture it. You have to nurture that spark at all costs. And it doesn't, and we can't dictate what else is going to catch fire. The point is, as long as something is catching fire, and we're here to take care of that flame. That's what's important to me. That's the message
Okay.
that I like to convey to them.
Okay. Bill, let,
Yeah.
let, let me let me ask you this. Now, first of all, let me say this to everybody. William Scarborough does not like me calling him Big Bill. Not at all. Right? I explained a little bit yesterday why I call him Bill. I said it's out of respect. Because when I got to know him, he's not just a William, which is his name. His personality and energy it translates into Big Bill. You have a Big Bill mentality, energy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did that for you, just to let you know, right? So my question to the three of you men, because see, here's the thing. I made myself to become optimistic when it comes to our community and the world. It might be a little naive when I do it, right? In some instances. Now, I wasn't naive when it came to the job because the job is the job. It's what I did, right? But when it comes to interpersonal, dealing with people every day, when it comes to my brothers who are my best friends, I lost a best friend, which was Demetrius Gore, right? He was like a brother to me, right? And I really like Scarborough and other people. Keith Barnes, you my guy. So my thing is, Big Hop said, "What's up, Scarborough?"
Hey.
But here's my thing. This is how I see it, and this is why I want to ask the three of you. What obligation do you think you have to our future? Look, that's a basic question. I just want to hear you guys' response. We'll start with you, Damon. And look,
Good.
hold on, before you go, no, okay, we'll start with you,
No, no, no. You can start with me.
Okay, now, I don't want no long drawn out thing. I want you to get straight to the point, brother.
You said what obligation that we
Do
owe
you
to the
think we
future?
have to the future?
Well, I got three of them, man. I put three good youngins out there. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Good people. And other than them and supporting my wife, The only thing, my only obligation is to try to be the best example I can be, man. You either gonna take it or you gonna leave it. And that's as far as I take it, bro.
Okay. Okay. Now, as far as example, that's what I'm talking about because see, I know you deep, but you can give me one deep example of what you just said.
If I go through the process of if I sit down with one of my kids and I say, look, man, if you go at it your best and you study and you understand yourself and your weaknesses and how to overcome it, then you're gonna do all right in life. And in that aspect, I lead by example. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell my kids something that they not gonna see me do. If I say go outside and clean up the yard, I'm out there with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there with them. I'm not gonna tell them something I'm not gonna do. You know, this to give you a small example.
Okay. Makes sense. Big Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, look, my man, one of my good friends, Bill Burnett, said it's only one. He just texted me. He says there's only one Big Bill. I said no, there's room for two of y'all now. So what's your response to it, bro?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the way that I look at it is there's plenty of opportunities. And what I tried to do to the best of my ability was to install some of the things that I was taught coming up that if you can, basically, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. Um, I use slogan, phrase, however you want to call it. I use the word keep pushing. And basically what that means is don't settle just to get there. Let's go past, let's to get there. Keep pushing. Sky's the limit. Yeah, we all gonna have certain obstacles in our lives, certain setbacks. But you can't, it's like a hog that's waddling in mud. You can't have that kind of approach, that kind of attitude. I think Strong, you can probably contest to this. When we look at our career at the sheriff's office, I know me personally, I look at some folks that were able to be promoted and move up. Uh, I never was jealous of them, but I was like, well, why not me? I have the same qualifications they have, in some instances more. But you got to understand, everybody has a role in life. Uh, you take, for example, the podcast that y'all three brothers have put on. What y'all doing, what you have started, is you take everyday situations, everyday life, and you interact and comment, and then ask other folks to come back and have their say. You spreading knowledge, and personally, that's what we need for our young males and females to be successful. The information that y'all, I watched, and I'm gonna stop, but I watched y'all a few. I missed a few, but the context and the things that you're saying and how you're saying it. Y'all may not know this or believe this, but you actually are motivating people. You're motivating adults because there's a lot of things that they didn't know, a lot of things they missed out on that y'all been able to kind of bring up and share. So even some of your own personal life stories. So, you know, I'm just excited about, and I'm going off task a little bit, but I'm just excited about what this is doing. And the only thing I personally can say is, continue to do what y'all doing because it's very helpful, it's very beneficial. for us as a people.
Yeah. Hey, look, Jaquari.
Wow,
Hey,
man. Thank you.
yeah,
Appreciate
appreciate it,
that.
bro. But look,
Appreciate
you
you.
want,
Appreciate you
hey,
for real.
hey, hey, Scarborough, you on here for a reason. I asked you several times to come on for a reason.
Yes,
You
you
know what I'm
did.
saying? Go ahead, Jaquari.
Well, I think what I would do, man, is to still, in future generations, the fact that your detours, your obstacles, and your failures and your setbacks are not designed to kill you. They are not designed to kill you. Are they negative? Yeah, they're negative. But God put those things in our past, man, in order to make us more savvy as people, as human beings, man. When you come to a detour on the road, what do? Do you just sit there and let all the work you've done to get there just go to waste, or do you find another path? It's all about the pivot, man. It's all about the pivot. I mean, rarely have I seen examples of successful people that show their lives going in a straight line, man. Rarely does that ever happen. I mean, it might happen if you inherit money, but 9 times out of 10, we're gonna have to deal with some roadblocks and some curves, in our road. And even as far back, generationally period, man. And I'm not gonna like put young folks of the day, young folks up to date in a box to and say that they don't know what to do, because a lot of times, man, I didn't know what to do as a young person either, man. I wasted 10 years of my life, man. You know, sitting at
Hold on,
home in
bro.
my in our hometown, trying to figure out. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it depends.
You
It
keep
depends on your
saying that,
perspective,
bro.
but
No, because you was
but
there.
no,
You
let me finish. Let me
go,
finish. Let
go
me let
ahead.
me
I'm
let
gonna
me
let you
finish.
finish. I'm
Let
gonna
me
let you
finish.
finish, but I'm not gonna let that ride.
The
But
years,
finish.
the years that I spent, the years that I spent there at home or whatever, man. Those are years of I would say detrimental development, man. That I just didn't have. Had I taken the time to not harp so much on woe is me and all that, and trying to figure out the detours, how to get around them and everything, man, I would have been, at the point I am right now in my life much sooner. I ask my boys all the time, man, do you lose or do you learn? I never lose. I always learn, and I never lose the same way 2 times. I never do that.
Okay.
Can you adjust? And that question comes from, can you adjust to, are you going to adjust? Will you adjust? Because a lot of times this is life and death here. Stagnation is death. Being 18 years old and in a place to you not really knowing what to do or where to turn or whatever is a lot different than being 30 years old and being in a place where you don't know what to do or where to turn. It's a big difference,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
18, you're still a child. You're supposed to make certain mistakes. But society would tell you at 30 years old, you're supposed to have things pretty much,
Figure it out.
you know, uh, secured in the path you're going to take. I don't know if that's realistic, because our community, all communities suffer from it. But like I said, man, our community, man, so we suffer from, what am I going to do now? It's a
Gotcha.
legitimate question, man.
I got
But
you.
nobody's going to answer that question for you.
But
You got to make a
okay. Look.
decision of what the hell am I going to do now?
All right. Let me. I'm gonna do two things. First of all, Big Hop, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Hey, Keith Barnes, Hop said, "What's up with you?"
What's going on, brother?
Really, let me this full disclosure, because when me and Damon said something was required when he said that he wasted 10 years of his life, we don't agree. First and foremost,
That was just an example, man. I mean, we don't really have to get into
hold
that,
on.
man.
Listen, you was there. for our mother when she needed you. That's it. Now, I understand what you mean, right? I understand that you felt because of the kind of person you are, because you, out of the three of us, you were the biggest go-getter. So you had plans for your life. So I get that, right? But I believe I believe in God's plan, to be honest with you. So that 10 years was for you to be there with our mom. Because we had our family to take care of and we wasn't in position to take care of her. You understand? So when she called me to ask you, to ask if you can come down here, it was an instantaneous answer. Yes. Because I understood what you did for her and what you did for us. That's it. The bottom line is I really am grateful to you. Period. So I just had to clarify that for a simple fact that we said me and Damon said it to you many times, but I want to put that shit on record because you stood up. Period. Right? So let me go ahead and
I
acknowledge
appreciate that,
everybody
man.
on
But
here.
you know,
Go ahead, Jaquan.
right.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, I mean, it would have been, it would have done her a lot better, man, if she could have seen me be successful, man.
Bro, she did. Did she come
I
down to
think
your
she.
did she come
I
down
mean,
here to your graduation? Did she come down here
she
to
did, yeah.
see you walk across that stage as cum laude in the University of
I get it.
North Carolina Central? Look, we could talk about that later, but understand something, brother. Seriously, this is people looking in on it. You know what I'm saying? This is up outside looking in. That's all. I just want you to know that. Right?
Bottom line is
No,
this.
like I said, I appreciate it, man.
Bottom line is this, man. You could choose to look at it and feel how you feel. Nobody can speak to that but yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell you what you
But
feeling?
I'm
No,
not telling
hold
him.
on. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking personally for myself. I can't tell the man how to feel. But from the outside looking in, like Keith said, to piggyback on what Keith said, you did 10 years of man shit, man.
Man shit.
You understand? Man shit. You took our father's place, bruh. That's what you did. Now, if you want to dismiss that, that's totally up to you. But but there was some hard shoes to fill, bruh. And you did that shit.
Well, I mean,
Now we could talk
like I said, I
off,
appreciate it,
you know.
man. But that, yeah, that's not that wasn't my overall point, man. I was just using it
No.
as an example,
I
man. But
understood. That's why I said it. That's why I said it. I understood where you was coming
had
from. I
at
understood where
that
you was
point in
coming
time in
from.
my
I just
life,
wanted.
man.
You would have been
Yeah,
a big ass weed
at
head.
that point, huh?
When we get off, he gonna be like, yeah. He gonna be like this when we get off. Listen here, man. I don't need y'all to tell me. Do you understand?
I mean, like I said, I was just using it as an example, man. You know, those are some formative years, man. That had I been as savvy as I am now, man, I wouldn't feel like that those was wasted years. I don't feel like they was wasted because I was there, trying to help support mom. But as far as my personal development, goes, I felt like it was a lot that I could have achieved during that time, man. But I just, I had blinders on, and I didn't really understand what the big picture was at that time.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I got
That's what I meant when I talked about the detour and the roadblock.
yeah.
You know, because it didn't have to be that long. It did not have to be that long, man. You
All
know,
right. Well, look.
and that at the end of the day, you know when what happened, I feel like it was so much more that I could have done from a personal standpoint, man, to make sure that it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
First and
So I mean,
foremost,
that, you know,
what,
but
what,
that's my journey.
what you realize is you're a bad motherfucker, and had you realized it earlier, you'd be even a badder motherfucker.
Oh, he'd be even more arrogant than he already is, bro.
Hey man,
All
look,
right.
which
Well,
is a,
look.
which is a good thing.
I never disputed my arrogance or my vanity or nothing like that, brother. That's who I am. You know, that's
All right. Well,
I
Right.
look.
can't help it.
Hey, hey,
Them
hey,
10
hey,
years molded that, bro.
Big Bill. I'm getting
Yep.
ready to get back to you, but somebody texted me and they wanted some clarification from Damon. All right. So when I asked you, did you think we had an obligation to the younger youth, right, to give to the youth? This person says um, they needed you, Damon, to give more of a clarification on what you meant by what you said.
About being an example.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, us being an obligation to the younger folks.
What
Real
I
quick,
said,
then we
what I
got
said
Big
about
Bill.
what I meant by that is that working in the field, dealing with youth and stuff like that. Most of the time, man, they were paying attention to what kind of car I was driving. You know what I'm saying? My baby was born, what she had on, what kind of crib I lived in. They came to my crib, cut my grass, all that stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. All right, I see how you living, Mr. Armstrong. You doing the damn thing. Like, dude, this is work, man. Just like relationships is work. Everything is work. Everything is effort. You know what I'm saying? Some cats, and this is my point, some cats listen. You know what I'm saying? Others didn't. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that did look, the ones that did pay attention and listen, they saw the example, man.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? They saw me at work sick. You know what I'm saying? Sick as a dog and wish I'd have stayed in bed. But I was there. You know.
No doubt, no doubt.
So if I was living the example of how to be. Because hey, my brothers know who I was growing up, man. It was major worry about me. But I took on the challenge, man, and the challenge was, okay, this is who I'm trying to be, and I'm gonna give 100% to it. You know, and anybody that's paying attention and watching, you know what I'm saying? Where do we reach people the most? Is it through talking, or is it the examples that we lead in our life?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? What's the biggest influence? My experience is leading by
Was,
example.
Okay. Okay.
was at some point, man, was at some point that you had to make that decision to be successful on your own, or can you attribute some of your success to the naysayers telling you that you couldn't do it?
You know what? Those ones that told me that I couldn't do it, you talking about a waste of time. I spent a lot of damn time proving them wrong, but it wasn't my path.
Eventually, it's a waste of time. Yeah.
It wasn't my
Yeah.
path, and at the end of the day, I'm sitting back thinking, damn, I did this shit just because somebody told me I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
run.
know.
You run. You run out of energy when you try to do it for other people to spite other people. You run out of energy. I learned that the hard way.
So did I.
So let me just do this. I love acknowledging everybody that's on here. Big Hop, Keith Barnes, Big Hicks. What's going on, Derek? How you feel, baby boy? Hey, Eric Harris, what up, brother?
What up, bro?
You know what I'm saying? Um, Big Hicks, so I want you to come on real soon, man. You and Hop. I need y'all to come on because we need to hear y'all story. So, Big Bill, what we're gonna do is we're coming back to you, brother. Now, I don't know where you from, right? Now, I know Scarborough was joking with me, but he was partly serious at the same time. He said, "Hey, man, I don't look in my county. I don't have nothing but light skinned people in that county, right? But my thing is, what I need you to do for me, because look, I'm the reason why he like dark skinned people right now, because I was consistent. No, I'm just joking, y'all. Don't even. I'm just joking. That's just a running joke with me and Bill. But look, Bill, talk to me about growing up where you grew up and you ended up in Raleigh, man. Is there any comparison? Is there anything that sticks out to you that you feel like? What are the biggest differences that you could tell?
Well, you coming from mostly a rural area where basically there was very few jobs and a lot of cornfields, uh, watermelon, tomato fields, watermelon fields. Um, I guess as far as excitement, we didn't have any. The neighborhood had, where everybody got together Saturdays, played basketball. We didn't have any community centers at that time. Of course, a lot of that's changed now, but it was an adjustment. I didn't have much, but what I had was I had a good foundation, and that's what helped me to get to coming to Raleigh and adjusting. Things of that.
Scarborough. I don't want to cut you off, bro. Do you see you see the comments?
Nah,
Oh man,
Can you see you can't see him?
the
Okay, well,
Keith
Keith
Barnes
Barnes said
said
y'all used to have house contests.
I used to have what?
a hollering contest.
Nah,
Hollering contest.
nah, he got the wrong location.
But okay. Now here's the thing. You just described where you grew up. What is the difference when you was on Shaw's campus as opposed to when you grew up? You know what I mean? Are you allowed? Are you allowed to even talk about it? You know, is the mist is covering over you?
Nah, but man, I turned up the show.
Okay,
You took this old country boy, and it was like going to New York with all the bright lights. And I had a good time. I had a good time at that university on all phases.
okay.
Um, Good memories, but I when I got out of Currituck County and got up here to Raleigh, it was like a whole new different world. And I did some things foolishly, but I'd rather not mention them. But
No
for
doubt.
the most part, I was there to get an education, and I was able to achieve that. But like I said, coming from Currituck and and being raised by grandparents, you did your work, you did your chores, you went to school, you went to church. Uh, you know, it was a good childhood. It could have been worse, but I got provided for, and that's all I could ever ask.
Okay, okay.
But tell
Cool.
Keith no, we didn't have no hollering contest.
All right, look, we coming to that part of the show is what I need you guys to do. Now, let me shout out. I'm gonna shout out again, Derek. What's going on, brother? I need you to come on. Of course, we're gonna do all positive. Look, this is when I met this brother, his energy was. He pushing off. His energy was out of this world. From South Philly, Big Derek Hill. You know what I'm saying? Keith Barnes, always. You know what I'm saying? Big Hop, always, brother. And we can ready to move into Damon's portion of our, because we're closing up. He's getting ready to move into his portion. But let me just say this. Go to our YouTube channel, guys. Like, share, and subscribe to us. Especially share and subscribe. Share it to the people that you feel that we can impact the most. Because what we're doing, we're just having a conversation from everyday people conversation. I love hearing from people that I see every day. I love the celebrities now, believe me, because I'm a fan of the podcast and all of that, right? But I can only, unless I know them personally, I can only really understand them so much. You feel what I'm saying? So my thing is, Big Bill, hell of a guest, brother.
Appreciate
after Damon, we're gonna get your final comments. But Damon, go ahead and take us in to Speak on It Strong, and then we're gonna close this thing out.
I had to. My bad. It's on me?
Yeah.
Okay, cause it kept going in and out. Man, I wrote down. You see, I got my pad right here. I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff, but I ain't finna do all that. Just to piggyback on some of the things that we talked about tonight, man. The one thing that I always instilled in my kids is that who and what they are, man, is most important, and they have a purpose, man, in this world. And the examples that I gave was, famous people who throw out a catchphrase or start a movement or whatever. All those things came from within them. It was who they were. You know what I'm saying? And they believed in themselves. And in believing themselves, they were successful. And in being successful, the world remembers who they are. You know what I'm saying? No matter how big or small your circle is, people are going to remember you if you're genuine and who you really are. Nobody else can be like you. Nobody can come up with concepts and ideas and memorable statements or poems or whatever. Nobody can do that but you. I talked to him about what's my man name? Steve Jobs, the cat that did the iPhone. Yeah. That shit came from meditation, man. You feel what I'm saying? That came from meditation. He was in deep meditation, and that concept came to him. That came from within him. Within him. You can't go wrong, man, being who you are and being your best self. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be somebody else, somebody can always, have something negative to say about that. But being original, that's deep. And originality comes from who you are. So working with kids, man, I always try to pay attention, you know what I'm saying, to who they are, their personality, and build from that. If I see some flaws in there or them trying to throw me off or whatever, man, okay, dude, you know what? You being what you despise the most. You being an asshole, which you told me you despise the most. So what are you doing? I mean, what's going on? Let's talk about it for real. So, just being original, man, matters in this world. It does. If you believe in God and you believe everybody has a purpose, being original matters. You know what I'm saying? And knowing thyself. And that includes your flaws, man. How do you become a better man? Understand what your weaknesses are, what your flaws are, and work on them, and be honest with yourself about it. And that's about it, man. That's all I got today. But you know,
Well said, brother.
yeah, that I was gonna read a whole page for y'all, but I was like, no, man, they done got my head somewhere else today.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, look.
I appreciate that, man, with y'all
Great,
brothers, man.
great,
Y'all had a brother
great
thinking.
job, Damon. Great job, Damon. For real. Big Bill, you got any last words
Always
before we get
on
up out
point,
of
brother.
here?
I just want to say, I think this is a beautiful thing. Um, want y'all to continue to push forward with it. Uh, you've had some great topics in the past, and I look forward to listening to it. From everybody has a point of view, and you never get too old where you still can't learn. So I just wish y'all the best and the most success in this, and keep pushing, brothers. Keep pushing.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, Jaquari, Damon, any
Thanks,
last
sir.
words before we get off live?
Hey man, if it's too high, get it down. If it's too far, go get it. If it's too heavy, pick it up. You can't go wrong.
Amen. Amen.
There
Damon,
it is.
Damon.
That's it, man. I liked it, man. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? I enjoyed it.
Likewise, likewise.
all right, stay on, brothers. We're gonna go off live. Listen, this Strong Perspective podcast. Go to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. You'll see us. We got episodes on there. This is another great episode. Thank you, William. But I was going to say William Burnett, William Scarborough, Big Bill, number two. But I love this, man. I love this with you guys, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I definitely do. Keith, Derek, hey, Big John, the Rosette. That's a homeboy right there. He telling you did a great job, Damon. Well said. You know what I'm saying? Eric
He
Harris,
said it.
No sir,
you
yes,
hold
sir.
it down, man.
Big
Look,
heater.
if you're in Missouri, and we're gonna big you up some more, but Eric Harris has a lawn care business that he humping and he doing what he do. Next episode, make sure I get it out there. But look, I'm Keith Armstrong. I'm with Damon and Jaquari Armstrong and William Scarborough. We bid you good night. You enjoy your weekend. It's a Strong Perspective podcast. Like, share, and subscribe, baby.
Love.